Steffi's going to say good morning to Buddy Dakin. Buddy wants to have a treat. He's so excited. Good boy. Sit. You're going to count? 1, 2. She's winding up. 3. Yay! Buddy got a biscuit. Good morning. Steffi and I are having a week together because her other caregiver's on vacation. We just finished her nails. Can you show them your nails? Can you hold your fingernails out? Woo! Red polish like Mimi 90, right? Aunt Mary, she wears her polish, the red. And so Steffi's got her red polish on like Mimi 90. And we're drinking a red strawberry smoothie, right? We're trying it. It's the first time Stephanie's had this one. The boys like these. And because it's the week before Purim, we thought we would read about a queen, a princess. Stephanie is princess, and so we have this theme going. Esther 1. We're going to read Esther 1 and 2 today and try to read the others the rest of the week. We'll see how far we get through. So shall we read?
Yeah.
The king dethrones Queen Vashti. The story of Esther. And really it's a story of God. Even though he is not mentioned in this book of the Bible, it's a story of God saving the Jewish people. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this was the Ahasuerus who reigned over 127 provinces from India to Ethiopia. In those days when King Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, the citadel, that in the 3rd year of his reign he made a feast for all his officials and servants, the powers of Persia and Media, the nobles, the princes of the provinces being before him. When he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the splendor of his excellent majesty for many days, 180 days in all. How many days, Steffi?
Yeah.
180. When these days were completed, the king made a feast lasting 7 days for all the people who were present in Shushan, the citadel, from great to small in the court of the garden of the king's palace. There were white and blue linen curtains, fastened with cords of fine linen and purple, on silver rods and marble pillars, and the couches were of gold and silver on mosaic pavement of alabaster, turquoise, and white and black marble. And they served drinks in golden vessels, each vessel being different from the other, with royal wine in abundance. You say cheers?
Yes.
Cheers. According to the generosity of the king. In accordance with the law, the drinking was not compulsory, for so the king had ordered all the officials of his household that they should do according to each man's pleasure. Queen Vashti also made a feast for the royal women in the royal palace, which belonged to King Ahasuerus. Did she enjoy it? I think she likes it. Hey, Mikey, she likes it. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Go ahead and finish it. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded these different people, 7 eunuchs who served in the presence of the king, to bring Queen Vashti before the king wearing her royal crown, in order to show her beauty to the people and the officials, for she was beautiful to behold. Got it?
Yeah.
All right. But Queen Vashti, Queen Vashti refused to come to the king's command. Therefore the king was furious, and his anger burned within him. Then the king said to the wise men who understood the times, for this was the king's manner toward all who knew law and justice, those closest to him, and the 7 princes of Persia and Media, who had access to the king's presence and ranked highest in the kingdom. They said, "What shall we do to Queen Vashti according to law, because she did not, thank you, obey the command of the king?" And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, "Queen Vashti has not only wronged the king, but also all the princes. For the queen's behavior will become known to all women, so they will despise their husbands in their eyes. When they report, King Ahasuerus commanded Queen Vashti to be brought in before him, but she did not come. This very day, the noble ladies of Persia and Media will say to all the king's officials that they have heard of the behavior of the queen. Thus, there will be excessive contempt and wrath. If it pleases the king, let a royal decree go out from him. Let it be recorded in the laws of the Persians and the Medes, so that it will not be altered. That Vashti shall come no more before the king, and let the king give her royal position to another. Hey, what? Brett, what's he doing? What's he doing? You think he's down reading the Bible?
No.
What's he doing? Is he answering the phone? What's he doing? He's saying, "Hi, this is Brett. How may I help you?" Right?
Yeah.
He's on the phone. Brett's on the phone. He'll have to hear this story later. Okay? We'll tell him the story later. He's read this story before. Do you know that, Stephie?
No, I do.
Yeah, the door's shut. Both of them. See, both doors are shut. Can you see it? You want your glasses back so you can see?
No.
Well, you set them on the counter, so that's where they are. Okay, you ready? Should we continue?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says that let the king give her royal position to another who is better than she. Stephanie, do you think God has a plan?
Yeah.
That's right. God has a plan.
There.
When the king's decree, which he will make, is proclaimed throughout all the empire, for it is great.
Dawn.
Yes. Are you going to see Dawn today? I think Dawn would like this story.
No.
It
Dawn.
has a good ending.
Dawn. Ooh.
She's going to drive in her new looking car up my drive and pick you up today, isn't she? What time is she going to do that? Let's see. What time is that going to be? 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it says here that once that's proclaimed, all the wives will honor their husbands, both great and small. And the reply pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. Then he sent letters to all the king's provinces, to each province in its own script, and to every people in their own language, that each man should be master in his own house, and speak in the language of his own people. Okay?
Okay.
Let's do another chapter. Esther becomes queen. That's the chapter title. You ready?
Yeah.
After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus subsided, he remembered Vashti, what she had done, and what had been decreed against her. And the king's servants who attended him said, "Let beautiful young virgins be sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all the provinces, that they may gather all the beautiful young women to Shushan, the citadel, into the women's quarters, under the custody of Haggai, the king's eunuch, custodian of the women. And let beauty preparations be given them. Then let the young woman who pleases the king be queen, the young woman who pleases the king to be queen instead of Vashti." This thing pleased the king, and he did so. In Shushan, the citadel, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. Kish had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captives who had been captured with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. And Mordecai had brought up Hadassah, that is, Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. The young woman was lovely and beautiful. When her father and mother died, Mordecai took her as his own daughter.
God.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
That's good.
I
Good job, Mordecai. Do you want to hold it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll both have to hold it because when you touch the buttons.
Didi.
Okay. You're going to tell Dee Dee that you read this story?
Yeah.
Well, she might see it. We're videoing it so you can watch it later. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give you a minute to read it over. You need to proof it, make sure that I'm telling the right story, right?
Yeah.
Now you've highlighted Esther 2:8. Shall we continue?
Yeah.
Okay. I can try to read it from here, but it's not going to go very smoothly. Here, push it this way.
Okay.
Okay, now we can both read it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So it was when the king's command and decree were heard, and many young women were gathered at Shushan the citadel, under the custody of Haggai, that Esther also was taken to the king's palace, into the care of Haggai, the custodian of the women. Now the young woman pleased him. She obtained his favor, so he readily gave her beauty preparations to her, beside her allowance. See that? She had favor.
Yeah.
Then 7 choice maidservants were provided for her from the king's palace, and he moved her and her maidservants to the best place in the house. Esther had not revealed her people or family, for Mordecai had charged her not to reveal it. And every day Mordecai paced in front of the court of the women's quarters to learn of Esther's welfare and what was happening to her. Each young woman's turn came to go into King Ahasuerus after she had completed 12 months' preparation according to the regulations for the women, for thus were the days of preparation apportioned. Watch this.
Yeah.
You're going to listen to their beauty secrets, okay?
Yeah.
We got painting of our fingernails, but watch what they had to go through. 6 months with oil of myrrh, 6 months with perfumes and preparations, and thus prepared, each young woman went to the king. She was given whatever she desired to take with her from the women's quarters and into the king's palace. In the evening she went, and in the morning she returned to the second house of the women, to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's eunuch who kept the concubines. She would not go into the king again unless the king delighted in her and called for her by name. Now, when the turn came for Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her as his daughter to go to the king, she requested nothing but what Haggai, the king's eunuch, the custodian of the women, advised. Esther obtained favor. You say favor, Stephie?
Oh.
Favor. She obtained favor in the sight of all who saw her. So Esther was taken to King Ahasuerus to his royal palace in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. The king loved Esther more than all the other women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all of them. So he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen. Then the king made a great feast, the feast of Esther, for all his officials and servants. He proclaimed a holiday in the provinces and gave gifts according to the generosity of a king. Mordecai discovered a plot. When the women were gathered a second time, Mordecai sat with the king's gate. Now, Esther had not revealed her family or her people, just as Mordecai had charged her, for Esther obeyed the command of Mordecai as she was brought up by him. In those days, while Mordecai sat within the king's gate, 2 of the king's eunuchs, Bigthan and Teresh, doorkeepers, they became furious and sought to lay hands on the king. So the matter became known to Mordecai, who told Queen Esther, and Esther informed the king in Mordecai's name. When an inquiry was made into the matter, and it was confirmed, both those men were hanged on the gallows, and it was written in the book of Chronicles in the presence of the king. See that?
Yeah.
Daddy Mordecai was a big help. He saved the king's life. You see that?
Yeah.
It's good, and it was written down. They're going to need to know about that later, right?
Okay.
Should I keep reading, or do you want me to stop?
Up.
Stop here, or keep reading?
Ow.
All right. We'll read chapters 3 through 10 later. Okay, Stephanie, wave bye to all your friends. Say bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Stephanie, wave to the school kids. Yeah. There we go.